Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. It is going to be from the Kisara Dome tonight in Osaka. It'll be the Orix Buffaloes hosting the Seibu Lions, as the two ball clubs here are fighting it out for the top spot in the Pacific League. And so we're going to give you the lineup, first of all, from the visitors from the Seibu Lions. Leading off and playing in right field is number 53, Ito. Batting second and in left field is number 46, Shohei Suzuki. And the three spot and playing second base is number 5, Shuta Tonosaki. And the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 60, Takiya Nakamura. Batting fifth at first base is number 30, David McKinnon. And the sixth spot and playing in center field is number 10, Mark Payton. Hitting seventh and playing third base is number 58, Ryusi Sato. Hitting eighth and doing the catch is number 37, Sena Suge. And batting ninth is the shortstop wearing number 0, Ryosuke Kadama. And they are going to be facing the ace of the Buffalo staff. It's Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who goes to the hill. He is 1-1 on the year. 12 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed. He's given up 1 earned run. He has walked 3 and struck out 15, and he's pitched to a 0.75 earned run average. Well, that's your starting lineup for the Seibu Lions. Now for the home team, the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off and playing first base is number 31, Ryo Oda. Hitting second and at third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. Batting third in center field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 4, Tomoya Mori. Batting fifth and in left field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Hitting sixth at second base is number 8, Marwin Gonzalez. Batting ninth and playing shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Hitting eighth and the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting ninth is number 61, Takumasa Chano. And he is playing in right field. And they're going to be facing Kona Takahashi, who takes to the mound with a 2-0 record. He's worked 23 innings. He's allowed 10 hits, 1 run earned. He's walked 6 and struck out 23. He's got an ERA of 0.39. Well, those are your starting lineups. We welcome Ben Roberts into the house this evening. And everybody else who listens live and on delay. We'll be right back in just a moment after this with all the action. Buffaloes and Lions, last-minute change in our scheduling. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order coming up for the Lions. It'll be Ito, Suzuki, and Tonosaki to face the ace of the Buffaloes in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. We made the change on this game. Originally, we're going to do the Fukuoka Chiba game, but this game here has a tasty pitching matchup as Yamamoto and Tonosaki are off to fantastic starts this year. And, of course, these two teams here up near the top of the standings in the Pacific League, and it made it a no-brainer to make the flip over to this one here tonight. We will, however, bring you the game tomorrow between the Hawks and the Marines, weather permitting, of course, from the Zozo Marine Stadium in Chiba, as those two teams will be going at it head-to-head. These two teams here tonight are both 10-7. The Lions and the Buffaloes 10-7 on the season. Chiba Lotte Marines also have the same 10-7 record, and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks have played 2 less games, as they are 9-6. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters are both below the 500 mark, and they're trying to keep their head above water. They're playing each other again tonight in the Park Miyagi in Tohoku. So here comes the first pitch of the ball game as Yamamoto rocks into the windup and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. We are underway as Ito swang through that one, and the count is quickly 0-1. So for Ito, he's hitting .290 on the early going. He's got a couple of homers and 4 RBIs as Yamamoto delivers again. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Ito. This pitching matchup here tonight, fantastic between these two clubs. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to third, fielded by Mune. He shuffles and fires to first, and that's going to retire Ito on a ground out 5-3. So one batter up and one batter in the books, and that'll bring up Shohei Suzuki. We have been staying with our daily picks. We've been putting them up every single day. We'll do it again tomorrow as well. Last night we were 3-3. A better week this week, but still below the Mendoza line or the 500 line, as we are now, I believe, 48-50 in our picks. And it is a difficult thing to do, is pick baseball games. There's a first pitch fastball delivered for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Shohei Suzuki. Suzuki batting .265 with no homers and a couple RBIs. The pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats down the left field line. It's a little disappointing. You've got two outstanding pitchers on the hill, and just the amount of empty seats in Osaka is disturbing. When I pan the lines here, they need to keep the camera angles low because that will be able to deter people from watching. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle, past the glove of the shortstop, Kirby-Ashi, into center field, and that's going to be a base hit here for Suzuki. That pitch there was too good a pitch at 0-2 from Yamamoto. Got too much of the plate, left it up in the zone, and Suzuki did a good job staying back and slapping it up the middle for a base hit. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. Well, for Tonosaki, he's hitting .291 on the early going. He's got 4 homers in the early parts here as he's ready to face Yamamoto for the first time tonight. Have to do a double check on Tonosaki's RBI production. Looks like he has got 10 on the year. We have a different number in our set. And the first pitch delivered is a fastball that misses for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Tonosaki bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Yamamoto, as he's waiting here on the offering from the Orix right-hander, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner. And the count now is 1 ball and 1 strike. Trying to do a little bit of maintenance for myself here, is made a little bit of an error. Got to get the erasing there for Tonosaki. As we said, he had 10 RBIs on the early going here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as Yamamoto holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung at his tap slowly foul just past the bag at third base. That is going to run the count now to 1-2 on Tonosaki. Tonosaki off to a good start this year, coming off a season where he hit .215. The last couple of years, he's been kind of average at the plate. So whatever he's done in the offseason, he's figured some things out. 5 of his 16 hits this year have gone for extra bases in the early going. As here comes the 1-2 pitch, as the right-hander Yamamoto kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 1-2. No Yamakawa in the lineup for the Lions again tonight, as he is out. Nakamura is in the cleanup spot. And in all fairness to Nakamura, he's off to a great start. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Right-hander against the right-hander here. As Yamamoto ready to deliver again, as he instead he fires over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Suzuki. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. All their games will be underway now. There is going to be one other game that will go off later tonight. And that'll be between the Giants and the Swallows at the Jinju. That goes off at 6 o'clock Japan time. As the right-hander Yamamoto delivers, it's a fastball swung on and tap foul behind home plate. The count remains at 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. We'll have updates for you along the night as we normally do. All of the games are in the early going here. Everything is top of the first, except for the Eagles and the Fighters, which are going to the bottom half of the first inning. That was quite the shocker last night, as the Eagles were down 7-2, and they came all the way back to win 8-7. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right center field. Moving over to his left and making the catch is Nakagawa. And that is going to retire Tonosaki for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Takia Nakamura. Well, for Nakamura, he's off to a really good start here. He's drinking from the fountain of youth, it would seem. He's batting .326 here in the early going with 3 homers and 6 runs batted in. Big fella gets the nod at the designated hitting position tonight. He took the reliever Higa last night yard for his 3rd homer of the year. Here comes the first offering from Yamamoto. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into shallow center field. Moving in on it is Nakagawa. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the first inning. Well, they had no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There were no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys here, as our friend Tyler is in the house tonight, and we are glad you are with us. Ben Roberts, Tyler, and everybody else who stops in, we appreciate you guys for being here. We'll be back in 30 after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the first inning, and that means Ryo Oda, Yuma Mune, and Kai Nakagawa to come to bat to face the right-hander Kona Takahashi. And you get a crowd like this that shows up. I know the Buffaloes fans have been criticized for their lack of attendance or lack of support for the Buffaloes, and that is what we are witnessing here tonight as the sparse crowd for this Saturday matchup. And there's a first pitch breaking ball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0 to Oda. Oda batting .313 on the year with a homer and 3 RBIs, and he pitches a fastball that swung on and grounded foul, and that is going to run the count even at 1-1. Tyler says he got lucky in the MLB today, hoping to hit something with the NPB as well. Hopefully you can do it. We are off to just a treacherous start in the NPB. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to short. It is ballable by Kadama. He picks it up. He throws to first, and they're still going to get Oda by a half a step. Oh, boy, that was a tough play as Kadama had bobbled the ball, and he still was able to get up and make the throw across the diamond to retire the leadoff hitter Oda by a half a step. That's going to be a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Yuma Mune. The Lions are still without Suzuki Genda, the regular shortstop, and of course the captain of the Lions, as Kanama is taking it here. Fred Tyler says he's riding with us tonight. Well, we're glad you're with us riding it out there, Tyler. We are, as we said, we've been struggling a little bit here in the pick'em department, and we hopefully can get it going. We were 500 last night, and we were above the 500 mark the night before. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. I've often said trying to pick the games just on the basis of the starting pitchers and how the bullpens have been used. As there's a fastball that misses outside, the count is now 2-0. You really start to get a clearer picture an hour before the game when the starting lineups are there. And here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's a fastball that comes in at the knees for a called strike. The count is 2-1. Friend Tyler says Hawks, Tigers, and Carp is what he has tonight. And all three of those, I do believe, is what we have cashed in at. Here's the fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line and is just going to slice foul. It's going to run the count now to 2-2. Tyler says, who is the worst team in the league, or who is your worst team in the league? As Alexander Leggett pops in here tonight. Welcome, Alex. I would say the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, for my money, are the worst. They just don't really have a whole lot of offense. There's a fastball that swung on. This ball is hit into right center field. It's going to get down. It's going to get cut off by Ito, and it's going to be holding Yuma Mune to a long single as he is aboard here with one out in the first inning. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. I would say probably the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, for my money, are the worst team. I have to say we haven't done any Central League games as of yet, and the Chinichi Dragons are a bit of a wild card team that isn't very good, but they look like they're playing better ball out of the gate. That is what we're watching right now. So I would say the Fighters are the worst team. I think once the Eagles can figure out their bats, they've got too much hitting depth over there to be as bad as what they are. The problem, I think, with the Eagles is their pitching, and they've got to get that sorted out as well. That is a bit of a scary look. And so here comes the offering from Takahashi. It's a fastball that misses inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0 to Nakagawa. Our friend Ben Roberts says Takahashi's got the flow working tonight. Yeah, we've seen that a little bit over the last couple of games. Between him and Imai, they really have quite the hairstyle going on. Imai was wearing a do-rag the other night. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count's now even on Nakagawa at 1-1. Alexander says the Dragons are a mirage, and that could be true too. The Dragons just happen to be playing well right now, but I don't know if there's enough wellness there to be able to make that work. And the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. They go to the shortstop for one, back to first. That's going to be an inning-ending double play. It's going to go in the books as 4-6-3, and that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the first inning. Well, there were no runs. There was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We'll come on back and talk about Takahashi's sixth flow. And at the same time, Ben Roberts says he could star in the NHL with that, and you're absolutely right. We'll be back in just a few, everybody. It is 0-0, and the Lions coming to bat in the top of the second. We'll be right back after this. Nothing ball game. We'll be back in 30 with all the action. Glad you guys can make it in here with us tonight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be David McKinnon, Mark Payton, and Ryusi Sato to come to bat to face Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto, in his first inning of work, only threw 13 pitches to retire the Lions, and he's ready to go back to work as he rocks into the motion and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is 1-0. McKinnon has brought his average up to nearly 250. He's saying 246 on the early going with a couple of homers and 8 RBIs. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. McKinnon and Payton, the two American players in the Lions lineup, are going to need to give them the juice and the jolt here to give them a bit of a lift. We were not sure where they would fit in, and I do think that the Lions, as we said at the beginning of the season, we think they're going to finish in third place. They're going to edge out the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. and of course finish ahead of the Marines. And I have to say the Marines are playing a lot better than we anticipated. There's a fastball swung on, and this is lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 2-1 on McKinnon. I do think the Lions, this is their year to jump into the playoffs along with the Buffaloes and the Hawks. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to McKinnon. We missed one of the strikes there. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Fluby says, we got new cheer cards out, do we? Oh, we've got all kinds of tricks up our sleeve. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung. This ball is lifted into right center field. Coming in on it and making the catch is Nakagawa. It's already 3 putouts for the center fielder here in the early going. As that'll retire McKinnon for the first one. Friend Ben Roberts says Takahashi and Imai have started their own club called the Long Hair Team. Yeah, possibly. So far, they are the only members, it seems. Yes. It's probably the case. Both of those players are sporting a very interesting and entertaining hairstyle. As Yamamoto goes and delivers, it's a breaking ball that just misses for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. I was going to try to call a game last night. We were contemplating it, but I wasn't able to get enough required sleep before the game to do it. There is a breaking ball swung on, its tap foul over on the first base side. The count goes even to 1-1. On Sunday, we will put up our schedule for the upcoming week. We're going to try to get definitely the Tuesday game and probably the Wednesday game, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-2 on Peyton. So we'll look at the schedule and mark it off and see what we are able to provide, and hopefully we can give everybody a good quality ball game on one of those nights. As there's a fastball that's taken for a called third strike. Peyton stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 2, and that is going to bring up Ryusi Sato. Our friend Alexander says that Yamamoto is the clear better pitcher here. We'll see if the Buffs can get a stampede going with it too. Yeah, Yamamoto has been. One thing I'm interested to see is how is Yamamoto? He doesn't seem to be throwing as hard as he did the last couple of years, as he's been in the mid to upper 90s, but not upper 90s to 100, as he misses that fastball down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. That last pitch dialed in at 94 miles an hour on the gun. As the 1-0 is on the way, and it is swung on by Sato, and that's going to be a single into right center field, as that is going to be a base hit here with 2 away, and that'll bring up the catcher, Senasuge. My concern with Yamamoto is, has he lost a little bit off his fastball? And how is that going to play a little bit different? I know that there was talk about him coming to Major League Baseball. I look at him and I think of that he's just lost a little bit, and I don't know if he would be somebody that would be considered a prospect for the MLB. Some people may be offended by that, but he is a diminutive right-hander. He's not as big as most people would think. He fits into that Sonny Gray type of category, a small righty. And usually these small righties have a short lifespan unless your name is Martinez and first name Pedro. So here's the first offering. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is hammered through the 6-hole into left field. So back-to-back 2-out singles here. It's going to put runners at first and second. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Ryosuke Kadama. Our friend Mr. Cap in the house tonight. We appreciate him. We thank you for jumping in here. Our friend Mr. Cap asks, so what's the prediction here tonight? Well, we posted all of our picks up earlier online, as we did go out of our way to give the content, and we will share that with you here in just a moment, as the right-hander Yamamoto ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher as he holds at the chest, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1-0 to Kadama. In this particular ball game tonight, we decided at our end that we were going to go with the Buffaloes. We felt that the home field advantage played in Yamamoto's favor, as the 1-0 pitch is ready to come here. He kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0. Both of these pitchers, of course, are been outstanding this year, Takahashi and Yamamoto. We were edging the home field in this particular case. Other games that we took our stab at, of course, we took a stab at everybody. We've got the Hawks to beat Chiba tonight. I really like that pitcher, Fuji, for the Hawks, the former Hiroshima Carp. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count now is 2-1 to Kadama. And of course, he is going to be taking on Yuji Nishino, who's off to a good start for the Marines. Fighters are at the Eagles tonight. That was a heartbreaker last night for the Fighters. I don't know how they bounced back from that one. The Eagles definitely clawed their way back. We're on their train again tonight. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's over on the first base side and runs the count even at 2-2. In the Central League, our predictions, and we've taken the Carp. We took the Carp last night, and they lost a 1-0 decision at home to the Bay Stars. We've got them again tonight. Yokohama is giving the ball to Onuki and is Takada going on the hill for the Carp. So we're leading with Hiroshima for sure in that. As the 2-2 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and fouled off into the feet of Kadama. The Tigers and the Dragons are going head-to-head, and it is Murakami going for the Tigers while it is Hiroto Takahashi who is countered for by the Dragons, and we're leaning toward the Tigers in that one. The game is in Nagoya. And then the Giants and the Swallows are the later game this evening. And the Giants are just off to an abysmal start. When we think of bad teams in the NPB, I can't believe they're as bad as they are. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called third strike. Kadama stood there like the house by the side of the road. There was 2 strikeout lookings in the inning. And he is out for out number 3. No runs in the inning, 2 hits. No errors, and 2 runners left the board. We're now moving to the bottom of the second inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 0, the Lions 0. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back, and we'll talk a little bit more of this in just a few minutes. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the second inning, and it's going to be the heart of the Orix batting order to come to bat. That means Tomoya Mori, Yataro Sugimoto, and Marwin Gonzalez to face the right-hander Kona Takahashi here in inning number 2. Both of the pitchers have been fairly economical in their work here tonight. We said in the first inning for Yamamoto, he delivered 13 pitches. And in the bottom half of the first, it was Takahashi only threw 11. They have that type of workmanlike approach here tonight. It could be a very quick ball game and a lengthy one for both of the starters. As Takahashi kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base line, and the count is 0-1 to Mori. Mori batting at .317 on the early going. He's got 2 homers and 6 runs batted in. As the left-handed hitting designated hitter tonight waits in on the second offering from Takahashi. As the righty kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes even to 1-1 on Mori. Mori was acquired in the offseason from these Seibu Lions, facing his team for the second time now on the second stand of the season, as he swings through a split finger pitch, and the count is now 1-2. So he would know most of these pitchers intimately, as he had caught them with his time with the Lions. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the righty delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is rip foul down the first base line. It's going to keep the count at 1-2. Maury hitting .317, as we said in the early going here, off to a hot start for the Buffaloes. We said the Buffaloes offense, even though they lost Masataka Yoshida, might actually be better than they were last year. As a fastball swung on its tap foul over on the first base side of home plate. Count remains at 1-2. We say that because they added Maury. They also added Marwin Gonzalez, who's given them some flexibility around the infield. And Frank Schwindel made his debut the other night with 3 hits. As a fastball misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-2. I don't know if this is a maintenance day for Schwindel or if he picked up a knock again. But he played in back-to-back nights. He was 3 for 8 in his first 2 ball games. And the pitch on the way, it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-2. But Schwindel in their lineup, along with Mune and Gonzalez, as we said, could give them the better end of the stick than just having Yoshida. 3-2 on the way. It's a fastball swung on and fouled over on the first base side. It's going to keep the count at 3-2 to Maury. Maury has already seen 8 pitches in this at-bat as he is battling Takahashi here. I have to say, I do like the Lions uniforms. The white pants with the blue piping. They've got the blue socks. And it's kind of a bit of a tie-dye color. There's a fastball ticket for a called third strike. Maury stood there and watched it go by on the outside corner, and he's going to be retired for out number 1. So a 9-pitch at bat. He goes in the books as strikeout number 1. We've got Gracie Lynn supporting us, and we appreciate you there, Gracie. Thanks for doing that. And that is going to be the right-hander, Yatara Sugimoto, coming up to the plate. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and lifted foul behind home plate. The count is quickly 0-1 to Yatara Sugimoto. Sugimoto batting .237 on the early going. He's got himself 5 homers and 12 RBIs. As he is definitely in a good form early on here in the power department. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs for ball, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Sugimoto. The right-hander ready to go again. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sugimoto. Right-hander again, leading in, getting the sign, and ready to deliver back again. It is 1 ball and 2 strikes as time is now called. As a reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in on it is the center fielder, and that's going to be hauled in by Mark Payton. And that is going to retire Sugimoto for the second out of the inning. So 2 away. Our friend Gracie says, I just wanted to say I love the commentary. I've been a subscriber since last year, but this is the first time I've actually gotten into to catch a live game. Well, we appreciate it, Gracie, and we thank you for popping in to listen to us. And hopefully you'll be able to stay with us through the summertime when we are going to be, obviously, going to be in Japan and taking you on some of the tours with us. And the first pitch is a breaking ball delivered to Marwin Gonzalez, taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Gonzalez batting .207 in the early going, the switch-hitting second baseman tonight. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 0-2. He does have 3 homers and 5 RBIs. Gonzalez has a lot of versatility to his game. We've seen him play first base, second base, obviously tonight, and shortstop. But he can play the outfield positions as well. Mr. Cap says the Buffaloes are at home. And yes, you are. There's a fastball that misses upstairs to Gonzalez, and the count is 1-2. The Buffaloes are playing this one at the Casera Dome. And as we said before at the outset, very disappointing with the crowd tonight. Just maybe not the people who are there, it's the people who aren't there, as there's a lot of empty seats. And our friend Alexander Leggett says you can catch up on being an NPB barfly with us tonight. Absolutely. It's great to have everybody in the house when we can. And we do always seem to get more around the 11 o'clock hour for some reason. Maybe that's when the bars are closing in other places. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and that's going to run the count now to 2-2 on Gonzalez. Kotaro Kirbiashi waits his turn on deck. Should Gonzalez be able to find a way on here? We have not called any Major League Baseball games yet. We are looking to get one of those or maybe a couple of those going. We might even try to call a Saturday night game tomorrow. We'll take a look. And there's a fastball ticket for a called third strike. Gonzalez goes down looking for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here. There was 3 up and 3 down go the Buffaloes. No runs, no hits, no errors. And nobody left the board. We'll be right back in just a couple moments and answer Gracie's question when we return. Hang tight, everybody. We appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight. Nothing as we move to the third inning.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order coming up to bat for the Lions here in the third inning. It'll be Ito, Suzuki, and Tonasaki to get things going. Our friend Gracie wanted to know how is the attendance going in the NPB, and Alexander Leggett answered that for you. It has been high so far, and that is correct. Generally speaking, a lot of the ballparks have had good attendance. But as we said in this one here, there was a lot of sparse. The crowd was sparse in this one, down the right and the left field lines, and not a lot of depth in the lower deck. So Ito steps up. He's 0 for 1 tonight. And he takes the first pitch fastball down for ball 1. The count is 0-1. He grounded to the third his first time up. His average taking a little bit of a tumble as he waits here on the offering from Yamamoto as he rocks into the motion and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field, and this ball is going to be trouble. It's going to get down, it's going to get up the gap, and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Digging around first, heading for second is Ito, and he is going to throw on the brakes as he rounds second base. That is going to be a leadoff double here for the Lions right fielder. That is going to bring up Shohei Suzuki to the plate. Well, this is going to be one of those games you're looking at and you're saying, geez, I can just see it. I can smell it coming here. Lions have got 4 hits already in the ball game, and they've not been able to do anything with it yet. Yet the Buffaloes, who've had 1 hit, have looked pretty tame against the starter Takahashi. This is where they probably will end up coming back and winning. Why do I just feel that coming? So that is the way it's going to work here. Is Yamamoto ready to go again? He checks the runner at second. They square to bunt, and Suzuki gets it down. It's a good one. But nope, it's going to roll a bit foul, as that is going to bring the count to 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Suzuki. It looked like that ball was going to stay fair, and that ended up kicking over the foul line on the first baseline. Alexander says, around the beginning of the season, there was a good 70 to 80% capacity. Now we'll see that these games just get a few thousand. Let's get the numbers. Yeah, there is a numbers stuff on the NPB site. The average attendance. Again, Suzuki now squaring to bunt, and he does. And this ball is bunted, and this one's down. Yamamoto fields it, and he throws to first, and that's going to go down as a put-out sacrifice 1-4. That's going to advance Ito over to third. It's going to bring up the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. If I'm not mistaken, too, the average length of an NPB game has been about 3 hours and 8 minutes. They usually talk about that for 9 innings of play. You want to get that information. Usually it's right on the front and center of the stuff as well. They do say through the 21st of April, total attendance at all the NPB games is 2.7 million. And right now it's 3 hours and 2 minutes for 9 inning games as the average time so far through last night. So that's down a little bit because if I remember correctly, it was like 308 or 309 last year for the average game in the NPB. The first pitch is a fastball delivered to Tonosaki, and he takes it for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. But there are some stadiums and some places where the crowds are just not as busy. And they were saying that the new stadium in Hokkaido, they have had a lot of empty seats. One would have thought that they would have been better, but there has been a lot of complaints about the public transit getting to the stadium. It's not as easy access. People have to walk quite a bit. There's a breaking ball that just misses, and the count is now 1-1. So their expectations, but of course, it's not like they got a great product to watch when you've lost Otani, Darvish, and Kohei Arihara in the last 12, 13 years to Major League Baseball. It really guts your team. It makes you wonder who you're coming out to watch. So 1 strike as the right-hander Yamamoto holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 strikes. Alexander says, don't get me started on the delight that a 2-hour, 30-minute game in the MLB are. Yeah, I saw that game in Seattle earlier this week, and it was, I would say, about a 2-hour and 40-minute affair, a much quicker pace. And here comes the pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and tapped foul behind home plate, and the count remains at 1-2. Ben Roberts says about 18,000 at the Kisara Dome for yesterday's game, and probably about the same for this one. Yeah, lots of empty seats. Disappointing, especially on either a Friday night or a Saturday afternoon. You'd think that the people in Osaka would, at the very least, have a date night. And here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 2-2. Our friend Alexander says you get that from the site. I just actually go right to the NPB site. That's generally where you can pick some of that stuff off there. Our friend Tyler asks, how long till Roki comes to the States? There's a split finger pitch delivered that swung on and missed. Tonosaki's down for out number 2, and that's going to leave it all up to Takeya Nakamura. I think Sasaki, they said, is probably a couple of years away to come to the United States. But he would be one that is probably going to be there. I have to say, though, I watched Sasaki. His power arm is dominating the Japanese league. But the other part to this that I would say is that I'm not 100% sure at. Andy Altman-Orr checks in. He's at this game tonight. And he says, hey, you're calling the game I'm at. And we were trying to speculate the crowd size tonight, Andy. We said it's looking similar to last night, maybe about 18,000. Lots of empty seats around the Kisara Dome. So hopefully he can let us know what his thoughts are as that first pitch fastball misses upstairs to Nakamura for ball 1. Keegs is in the house tonight as well. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander Yamamoto ready to deliver. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and a grounded foul over on the third base side. The count is 1-1. I just wonder if Andy's sitting in those temporary seats down the left field line where they make the fans wear the helmets. And that's what we always get a good kick out of. The fans are sitting in there, especially at the Fukuoka Dome. They're all wearing the Hawks helmets down the line as they're concerned about foul balls. They're sitting in front of the netting. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Nakamura. Nakamura is 0 for 1 in this one. He flew out to center field his first time up. It was a very busy first couple innings for Kai Nakagawa at center field. He'd hauled in 3 fly balls, as well as chasing down a double in the gap in this inning. As here comes the 1-2 pitch, but now Yamamoto steps off the backside. Andy says the home side, upper deck right field, and bleachers right field are pretty well stocked. Yeah, it looked like down the left field line and upper deck and left field, it looked like it was all kinds of spacious seating available. And here comes the 1-2 pitch, and it is a split finger pitch that misses down. And now the count goes to 2-2. I definitely know that we've picked the Buffaloes in this one, as Keegs is wondering who we've got. Not sure everybody else has got, but we felt Yamamoto at home was the deciding factor. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander Yamamoto ready to deliver. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded back up the middle. It is fielded by the second baseman Gonzalez. He throws on the run, and he's going to get Nakamura easily. It's going to go down as a ground out 4-3. So Yamamoto able to wiggle out of a jam here in the third inning. There was no runs. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. Now through 2.5 innings, it is the Buffaloes no score and the Lions no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being with us. Here's our friend Steve.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom of the third inning. It'll be the bottom 3 hitters in the batting order for Orix. It's going to be Kotaro Kobayashi, Kenya Wakatsuki, and Takumasa Chano. You come to bat to face Kona Takahashi. I don't know if everybody was watching any Major League Baseball or highlights today, but the Cubs and the Dodgers were going at it, and Drew Smyly had a perfect game going into the 8th inning. If you didn't get a chance to see how the game was lost, or how that no-hitter was lost, you got to really feel for Smyly. The first pitch delivered to Kobayashi is a breaking ball that misses, and the count is 1-0. Kobayashi hitting .385 in the early going. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. And he's waiting on the offering from the right-hander Takahashi. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1. Alexander says, where are you seated, by the way, Andy, if you're still listening in? And there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 2-1. The ball was chopped off the bat of David Peralta in that game between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Smyly came off the mound to field it, and it was a collision with him and the catcher, Yan Gomes. Gomes basically ran into him and tackled him as the pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away by Kobayashi. The count now goes to 2-2. And what had happened is he couldn't make the play. It ended up being an infield hit, and that was the way that game, the perfect game, was broken up. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and it's a breaking ball that is swung on. It is lined right to the shortstop Kadama, and Kobayashi is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. It was a soft liner that Kadama had to go to his right to make the grab, but he has gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Drew Smyly, of course, broke in with the Detroit Tigers, and he was flipped to the Tampa Bay Rays, and then he'd bounced around. He had suffered some injuries. He'd been in a number of different camps with a number of different teams. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-1 to Wakatsuki. Wakatsuki hitting .308 on the year with no homers and 1 RBI. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on, and it's fouled right off of Senisuge. It's going to run the count to 0-2. And the thing with Smiley is really it was the injuries that had caught up to him. He had Tommy John, and I believe he might have had it twice. He had some big-time issues with his arms and arm trouble, and so just when you think or you hope that he's going to turn it around, then you get hit with another injury. But he bounced around with a number of teams as he pitches a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 1-2. If I'm not mistaken, he's been with the Cubs before. I think he spent a little bit of time with the Mariners and the Giants and the Braves and a whole pile of other teams. So hopefully the injuries will be able to subside. And there's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Wakatsuki goes down on strikes for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away. It's going to leave it all up to the right fielder, Takumasa Chanu. Friend Gracie says that it was hard to believe that she dropped Smiley off the fantasy team for Taylor Wells. And Smiley was decent with the Braves. That is for sure. So here's the first offering to Chano. It's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Chano getting the nod as an everyday outfielder as he's in his rookie season here for the Buffaloes. And the pitch is a fastball swung on it, is lifted down the left field line. That ball is going to drop in. That's going to be the first hit for the Buffaloes. Coming over to field, it is the left fielder, and that is Suzuki. But cruising into second base with a double is going to be Chano, and that's the first base runner that the Buffaloes have had since the single by Mune back in the first inning. Friend Andy says upper right field past first base. He usually goes for the cheap seats. And it's interesting that Andy says that because it's very similar to myself. I've seen so many baseball games. Some years I remember getting the 20 Tiger games and then being down the highway and seeing another 15 to 20 in Toronto. Get to see about 30 or 40 ball games a year. And so I love moving all around the ballpark. The other night I sat in the lower deck in left field, or the other afternoon, between the Mariners and the Brew Crew, and there's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul down the right field line for strike number 1. That must have been the one right there where he was not how close he was, as that ball there was lifted into the upper deck. Try to get on TV there, Andy, see if you can make a grab. So no balls and 1 strike, and the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the third baseman, fielded there by Sato. He throws to first, and that's going to do it. It's going to be a ground out 5-3, and that will retire Oda for the third out of the inning. Well, there was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. They strand the double by Chano at second. There were no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 3 complete innings. It is a 0-0 ball game. What a beautiful pitching matchup this is turning into be tonight. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. Here is our Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame memory. And if Andy is getting back to Tokyo, make sure you get to the Hall of Fame if you haven't done it already.
Hello? Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Appreciate you, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the ball game. As we are ready to resume action here, as the top of the fourth inning is going to bring David McKinnon, Mark Payton, and Ryusi Sato to the plate to face Yamamoto. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on. This ball is driven to deep center field. Moving back and making the grab on the warning track is the center fielder, Nakamura, and that is going to retire. Nakagawa. It's going to retire McKinnon for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. He took that one for a ride. And that is going to bring up the center fielder, Mark Payton. Our friend Alexander says a new Steve ad. Yeah. Steve Rademacher is in the house. I don't know if he's in the house tonight. I talked to him earlier, about an hour before this game started, as he was going through some stuff. The first pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. I caught up to him when I was on my way home. I had him and a couple other fellows I was talking to on the way from Seattle back north. As the 1-0 pitch is on the way from Yamamoto, it's a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Yamamoto gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work as the left-handed Payton waits here, and it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 2-1. I've been saying this for the last couple games that we've done to the Lions. Brian O'Grady was with the ball club for the Lions last year. I believe he went over to the KBO. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep center field. Moving back on it is Nakagawa, and he's going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Payton for the second out of the inning. 5th put out of the game for the center fielder Nakagawa so far. It's going to leave it all up to the third baseman Ryusi Sato. A busy night for Nakagawa in center field. But curious to see if that's the straight-up replacement, Payton for O'Grady, how that plays out. I would have thought that, I don't know if they were getting any much more value from one to the other, unless the outfielder Payton comes at a little bit cheaper. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes to Sato. Andy says, in the next half inning, please restate some of the stats on the Seibu pitcher. On the scoreboard, he's 2-0 with a 0.38 ERA. His MLB and his future, there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is 2-1. As I said before, there was talk about Yamamoto maybe going to the MLB. I just don't know. Yamamoto does not project as an MLB arm, especially with the mileage that they'll put on him here. There's a split finger pitch that the home plate umpire goes up with the right hand and said that Sato went around on the count at 2-2. But I have to say, I really do like Kona Takahashi. He has been absolutely outstanding in the performances that we've seen. So we'll give you that when he comes back to the mound. He's only got 3 strikeouts in this one here, and he has been working at a clip much more than 1 per inning. As the 2-2 is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded to short. Kobayashi fields it on the backhand. He throws across the diamond. It's not going to be in time to get Sato. That's going to be Sato's second hit of the ball game, but he did a great job of legging that one out. But the manager, Nakajima, is going to go upstairs. He wants to have a look at this one. I don't know if they're going to win that or not. Well, while we have a pause in the action, we're going to take a look at the stats of Kona Takahashi. He's had 3 starts already this year in the 2023 season. He's worked 23 innings. He's only allowed 10 hits. 1 run, it was earned. He'd walked 6 and struck out 23. So at the 1 clip per inning, and he had 2 of the 3 decisions. He's 2-0 on the year with that 0.39 ERA. So that is where they stand. One of the things I was talking about before about some of the Japanese pitchers, it is very much a fastball, breaking ball league, fastball, and of course the split finger pitch as well. So fastball and split finger pitch are the two pieces that we see on a regular basis, but we don't often see a lot of changeups. There are changeups and there are pitchers who do throw the changeups, but we don't see enough of it. And I think that's one thing in Major League Baseball, when you face the Latin players and the South American players, they don't like the changeup, especially when you've got a good one good out in front of it. So a guy like Roki Sasaki, pitcher like Yamamoto, some of those players would have to develop their changeups, I think, to be more effective in North America. Well, the umpires have come back out, and the safe sign is going to stand as Sato was able to leg that one out. And that is going to be the first challenge used up here by the Buffaloes. And that'll bring up the catcher, Sena Suge. Well, for Suge, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled his first trip up. He's got no homers and 5 RBIs on the season. As the right-handed hitting catcher ready here on the offering from Yamamoto. He's raised his season average up to 265 with that knock back in the second inning. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Suge. As Andy had checked in and said we were doing this game tonight, yeah, we actually jumped off the other one. The pitching matchup here was just too tasty. There's a fastball swung on it, is popped up. It's in the middle of the infield. Moving in on it is Kobayashi. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here as Suge is retired for out number 3. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. No errors and 1 runner left the board. Moving to the bottom of the 4th inning, your score is the Seibu Lions 0 and the Orix Buffaloes 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for listening in here with us tonight.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Appreciate everybody for being here. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom of the 4th inning, and that means it's going to be Yumamune, Kai Nakagawa, and Tomoya Mori to come to bat. Our friend Andy Altman says we just wanted a fast game. I'm sure that is also true. I've got to be up at about 6:30 tomorrow morning Pacific time. So whatever this game is done, right to the sack, and then try to get myself prepared for the day's affair tomorrow. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. And of course, calling another game tomorrow night, we're going to do the Hawks and the Marines. So hopefully you can join us 10 p.m. Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern. The first pitch is a fastball delivered to Yumamune. It swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector in the house tonight. We welcome you for being here. Mune tonight is 1 for 1. He singled in his first trip up. Batting here from the left side against the right-handed throwing Takahashi, who delivers a fastball that bounces up to the plate, and the count is 1-1. As Gracie asked the question about Yamamoto, no, not that I'm aware of. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 2-1. Yamamoto ended up going on to the New York Mets, if I'm not mistaken, and he bounced around a little bit. Yamamoto, unfortunately, is I want to say a common name. It's not as common as Smith would be, but it is a common name in Japanese circles. So there's much like Yoshida you hear, among others. There'll be a number of players. Another one, just like the pitcher here, Takahashi, is a name that you get that cycles through the group as well. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Mune. And the pitch is a fastball swung on. It is tapped softly over to third. It is fielded by Sato. He fires it across the diamond, and they're just going to nip the speedy Mune by a half a step. It's going to go as a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. CV Baseball card said, like Suzuki, yeah, that's another one. Maybe Suzuki is the Smith of Japanese names, like Schmidt would be for Germans, or Smith or Jones in British type terms. So Kai Nakagawa steps to the plate, hitting .262. He grounded into a double play his first time up. And there is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. And good piece of hitting there by Nakagawa to be able to go into the oppo gap. Gracie Lynn says was going to point out Suzuki as well. I always think, of course, Ichiro Suzuki as the first one. Seiya Suzuki, despite having an oblique strain in spring training, looks like he has got himself off to a hot start. I checked in and saw he had a couple of hits today. He was hitting up around 380 for the Cubs. Our friend Alexander says, no, Suzuki's not the most original last name. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is a soft liner hit to the second baseman, Tonosaki, and he is going to make the catch. It's going to retire Mori for the second out of the inning. He looked like he tried to tomahawk that thing. It was a fastball that was left up in the zone. He did a good job of keeping his hands inside, but he looped it right to the second baseman, and of course, it had broken the bat of Mori as he's going to take that lumber and put it right into the receptacle. There is going to bring up the left fielder, Yataro Sugimoto. So Sugimoto here waiting on the first offering. As the first pitch is ready to go on the way here from the righty Takahashi. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. And this ball is way back and it's gone. A home run. And that's going to be a 2-run shot here for the Buffaloes. Sugimoto has just hit his 6th of the year. Our friend Andy was alluding to something when he says way back, and he has the right man at the plate to do it. Sugimoto has now put the Orix Buffaloes out in front 2-0 here in the 4th inning. Sugimoto now with 14 runs batted in on the year, and you're going to see his traditional celebration when he'll stand up, and there's the fist pump right up into the sky. That's what he likes to do. So if you get a chance to see that, that is pretty darn cool. And our friend Alexander says it is a stampede. Well, it looks like a lot of empty seats, as we said, in center and left field. That looked pretty good. He got that one, got out in a hurry. The first pitch is a fastball swung on by Marwin Gonzalez. Count is quickly 0-1. I have to tell you, I saw the home run hit the other day by Julio Rodriguez live. That game between the Mariners and the Brewers, a 2-run shot. And that ball that J-Rod hit got out in a hurry. This one here that Sugimoto had, it was a bit of a, I guess I would say it was a bit of a fly ball that had a little bit of rain that had on it when it came down, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 2-2. Sorry, check that, counts 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Gonzalez is just going to walk back to the dugout as the tag has been applied by Suge. And that is going to do it, as he is a strikeout victim for out number 3. Well, 2 runs in the inning on the big blast by Yataro Sugimoto. There was 2 hits in the inning, no errors, and nobody left on board on base. We're now through 4 complete. It is the Buffaloes 2, the Lions no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments after this with all the action from the game tonight between the Lions and the Buffaloes.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher as we move to the 5th inning. It's going to be Ryosuke Kadama, the 9-hole hitter, and then the top of the order with Ito and Shohei Suzuki to come to face Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And so just like that, the ERA of the starter just ended up popping up there. Fred Andy says his wife left after the top of the 4th to get him some lunch. She's eagerly awaiting to see what she's going to bring him back. We're all excited. We're on the edge of our seats to hear what she's going to bring you, Andy, because it sounds like a good deal to me. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses down. It's ball 1 to Kadama. Our friend Mick 3Y Official's in the house here. Welcome, Mick. Great to have you in the house. Kadama struck out looking his first time up, and there's a fastball swung on it, missed. The count goes even at 1-1. The one thing that you want to try in Osaka, if you haven't tried it, as the 1-1 is on the way, and it is a fastball swung on it, is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. It's going to be a leadoff single here on the top of the 5th inning for Kadama, as he is aboard here, and that'll bring the top of the order Ito to the plate. The octopus, if you're into octopus, is a good, I forget what they call it, takoyaki. And you can get that right on Dontamburi Street, or you can get it pretty much anywhere in Osaka. The other thing that's also kind of cool is if you get into the market, you can get octopus, and it's like covered in like a candy kind of flavor, and with a quail egg, and it looks like an octopus. So you got the quail egg as the head, and then you've got the octopus as the legs. It's quite the little treat. You can walk around and have it on a stick. As there's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Ito. So no balls and 1 strike. There's Andy, takoyaki. Yep, octopus balls, absolutely for sure. And they're actually really good beer food. If you're a beer drinker or if you like beer, I'm not a big, huge beer drinker, but I'll tell you, I have takoyaki. I like to have a good Asahi Super Dry to go with it. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded. It's going to hit the bag, and it's going to go down the left field line. Rounding second and heading to third is going to be Kadama. And cruising into second is going to be Ito. That's going to put runners at second and third, as that is going to be a hit. It looked like it deflected off the bag. We'll get the replay of that one there, as it ended up eating up Ito. But just like that, the Lions are in business here. We'll watch the replay of it. It was chopped down the third base line. Or no, it wasn't. I thought it may have hit. You know what? That's a tough play there by Mune. They've ruled it as a base hit for Ito. So Ito's going to get himself a double on that one. It's going to advance Kadama all the way over to third, and I'm going to talk about that for a second. When I used to be in Edmonton, And we were playing at Telus Field at the time. I'm not sure what they call it now. They have these cutouts like they do here in Osaka. And if you hit the ball, when I would hit the fungos, if you're hitting the ball down the line, if it caught the dirt, the ball would stay down. If it didn't catch the dirt, the ball would bounce up. And so learning how to play it, it was definitely a home field advantage. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. And so when the ball would hit the dirt, it could scoot right on by the fielder, and the visiting teams would make those type of errors because the players wouldn't know the field as well and would stay down. But our home team players would be able to make sure they would make that play because they knew if it hit the dirt, you better keep your glove down or else it was going to get underneath you. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. And that's exactly what happened on that play to Mune, as Mune looked like he was ready to come up to take the hop, but the ball had hit the dirt, stayed down, and got under his glove. That ended up being a double there for Ito. As the 1-1 is on the way, and there's a fastball that swung on and missed. The count is now 1-2. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, never been to Japan, but I can imagine it would be a hard time finding things to eat. Doesn't sound like a friendly place for people with seafood allergies. Yeah, that's probably true, although I'm not a massive seafood fan, so I was able to survive. I can't eat a lot of red meat, but I would eat the chicken and the pork and whatever else I could find in those regards, and that would be the pieces I'd be living off of. And there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-2. If you like Wagyu beef, then you'll be able to do it. Certainly noodles are on there as well. Pork is my least favorite red meat. That's the one that doesn't bother me as much as the other stuff. Everything like deer and bison and lamb and beef are out the door. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's chopped over the head of Yamamoto. That's going to get a run in. It is fielded by the second baseman, Gonzalez, who throws to first. It's going to be a ground out 4-3. Suzuki's going to get himself an RBI. It's going to advance Ito over to third, and the Lions have got to run back here as the score is now 2-1. So RBI ground out by Suzuki. That's going to bring up Shuta Tonosaki to the plate with the runner at third and one gone. Our friend Gracie says she lives in Alabama, so when you start talking about red meat, yeah, well, it's the unfortunate part. I liked my lamb. I liked my beef. I liked a lot of that stuff, but can't eat it anymore. So Tonosaki strides to the plate. He is 0 for 2 today. He has flown to center and struck out his 2 trips up. As the right-hander Yamamoto ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Tonosaki, as we said, 0 for 2 in this one here tonight. He has seen his season average dip to 281. He still has those 4 homers and 10 runs batted in. So the right-hander ready to go again. As Yamamoto kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that it almost gets away from the catcher Wakatsuki, but he's able to knock it down and keep it around the home plate area. It's going to run the count to 1-1. Our friend Andy shot me a picture today, or was it yesterday, as I sent him some directions to get some curry pond near Osaka Station. And he was able to come up with it. Not only did he get one, he got about 12 different types of ponds. They look really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it when I was there, and I'm going to make sure I indulge myself in another round when I go back this time. But maybe try some of the other ones, as some of the menu that you shot me looked really, really good. The red bean one as well. Here's the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander Yamamoto holds set. And now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul behind home plate. It's going to reach the seats, and it's going to run the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tonosaki. We'll get you caught up on the scores from around the NPB. 4 other games underway, as there is some scoring in the other ones as well. So here comes the 1-2 as Yamamoto holds set. And now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's tap foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. Other games in the Pacific League, no scoring between the Marines and Hawks. That's in the 5th inning, and no scoring between the Eagles and Fighters. That is also in the 5th inning. The Carp have a 3-0 lead. That is in going to the bottom of the 5th over the Bay Stars. And the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. That's in the top of the 6th over the Dragons. So right now we're looking fairly large with our picks. And we need it because we haven't been very good. And there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Tonosaki's down on strikes, and he has gone for out number 2. And that is going to leave it up to the designated hitter, Takeya Nakamura. Well, for Nakamura, he is 0 for 2 in this one. He's flown to center, and he is grounded to second. Big fella here, as we said, off to a really good start this year. Getting a chance to play maybe more than we thought he would, as he is approaching his 40th year on the planet. Here comes the pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Nakamura will be 40 years old in August. He was originally a second-round pick in the 2001 draft, the 2001 draft. He has been in the NPB since 2003. Long gone are the days of his 48 home run years, as there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2 to Nakamura. So 48 homers. He did it twice. Also hit 46 homers, but that had to go back all the way to 2008. He's hit 30 homers or more multiple times in his career. But 3 homers here in the early going for the big right-handed hitting designated hitter. As the right-handed Yoshinobu Yamamoto ready to deliver. Here's the 0-2. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And Yamamoto strikes out the last 2 hitters. And that is going to do it here in the 5th inning for the Lions. Well, they got a run back in the inning. There was 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is the Buffaloes 2 and the Lions 1. Hangs tight, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. We'll be right back after this. From our friend, Matt Hollis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order coming up, but that's going to be Kentaro Kobayashi, Kenya Wakatsuki, and Tokamasa Chano to face the right-hander here, Kona Takahashi. Our friend Gracie says it's a shame that NPB is so hard to find in the United States. And so we appreciate you for listening in. We do some Central League games once in a while, and I'm going to try to do them as well. I'd like to do the Trevor Bauer ball game when he does his or starts doing some of his games. So we'll try to make that a circled on our calendar. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. The count is 1-0 to Kobayashi. Kobayashi lined to the shortstop his first time up. 5 for 14 on the early going. As the right-hander ready to go here, he kicks and delivers. That is a fastball swung on it, is grounded foul over on the third base side, and the count is 1-1. So we'll look to do the Bauer ball game. When he makes his debut, I saw his agent said it's going to be about another week or so away. As the pitch is a fastball swung on, and this ball is going to be grounded through the 4-hole into right field. It's going to be a leadoff single here for Kobayashi, and I would not be surprised one iota if they're going to try to bunt him over to second base. So looking forward to doing the Bay Stars game. If we can make the call of that one once Bauer is going to make his debut. One thing I would note too, and as they pan the crowd here yet again from a different angle, if Andy's still listening in, if this is a game that has had a late arriving crowd, that I don't know for sure. And that is exactly what's going to happen here as Wakatsuki is already squaring to bunt. Here comes the offering now from Takahashi, who now steps off the backside of the rubber. And we're going to do this all over again. We have a delay in the action. I'm not sure what the delay is all about. As the catcher, Senasuge, looked rather annoyed when he stood up looking down the left field line. But we're going to resume it here as Wakatsuki is, as we said, already squaring to bunt, and they throw over to first base and diving back in time as the base runner. So Wakatsuki gets himself dug in. And the right-hander, Takahashi, ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball, bunted on. It's back to the pitcher. Takahashi fields it. He throws to first. And that is going to do the job. It's going to be a sacrifice bunt. It's going to be 1-4 on the putout. It's going to advance Kobayashi over to second. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Tokumasa Chano. Well, Chano comes to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He doubled his first time up. He has had himself a decent start to his NPB career this year. Getting the nod in right field tonight. So the runner at second is Kobayashi. The batter here is Chano, and the first pitch from Takahashi is on the way. It's a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. That is definitely not a veteran call that he got. He's right up on top of the plate, and the fastball came right up underneath the hands. And Takahashi got the favorable call. Our friend Gracie Lynn says that she was surprised that Bauer was going to Japan. And unfortunately, it wasn't necessarily quite that. I think that even though the suspension was over as the fastball swung on and tapped foul, count is 0-2 to Chano. The Bauer was probably not going to get anything. He's probably more of a distraction in the United States than he is anything else. So he might have to go for not just 1 year. Maybe he's got to go for a couple years to Japan before they bring him back. Plus his public attacks on Rob Manfred, even though they may be right in a lot of senses, is not a good look for Major League Baseball. And I think they're going to punish him no matter what. So Bauer going across, plus the Dodgers are paying him the 20 some odd million to stay away this year. Plus he gets $4 more million from the Bay Stars. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector says maybe Bauer gets 15 starts. Well, I think a healthy Bauer could probably lop off about 21 or 22 starts. Even though he's missed the first couple of weeks, he's basically doing a spring training session. There's a split finger pitch that misses down. That ball is going to get away from the catcher Suge. The appeal down to the third base umpire, but it looks like the hitter Chano had held up his swing. That's going to run the count to 2-2. Our friend Luis Alberto Pereza Corda says he likes the Lions. We appreciate you for stopping in here tonight. It was a pretty good job there by Chano holding up. As we saw in the replay, he did not offer, and I think the home plate umpire got it right. So here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball that is swung on and missed. Chano goes down on strikes. He's gone for the second out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the top of the order, Rio Oda. Mick3Y official says that people call Bauer the worst thing in the MLB. Him or maybe Rob Manfred. I'm not really sure. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, imagine if you've dug yourself a big hole that pro sports teams literally pay you to go away. Yeah, that's the other part to this too. In Los Angeles, they've got a team that, I think about it last year. How important would Bauer have been to that side or to that squad? Be able to get them over the hump. And not just to get to a World Series, but to win the World Series. A very important piece of that pitching staff for sure. And you're right that they're paying you $20-some-odd million to stay away. We don't want you here. Well, that brings Oda to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to short and grounded to third in his 2 trips. As he bats with the runner Kirbiashi at second and 2 away here. As Oda waggles the bat. Waiting here on the offering from Takahashi, who works to the set position. He checks the runner at second, and now he kicks and he delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-0 to Oda. As we said, Oda a little bit surprised getting to bat in the leadoff spot here. I guess they really don't have anybody that they're settled on to hit in the top spot. They had Chano earlier in the year, and now we've seen some Oda. So I'm sure they have other tricks up their sleeves to the Buffalo Brass. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up over on the right side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is Tanasaki. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. That is going to be it for the Buffaloes here in their half of the inning. They had no runs. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 5 complete, and we're going to what we like to call our Japanese halftime with the score, the Buffaloes 2, the Lions 1. We're going to put our little piece on loop here, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate everybody for being here, and we will be back after we take our timeout with our Japanese halftime. Hang tight, everybody.
kids, Steve coming back at you for a Big Bang Theory commercial timeout from Freddie. Good game calling there, Freddie. Always love listening to you. You never cease to amaze me. But let's see what we get from the cards really quick. We have Wallowitz. Hey, we have Sheldon Cooper. We have a foil card. Nice. Hey, look, it's Leonard. Another Sheldon Cooper. Hey, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoy the game. And Freddie, let's big bang this thing out of here.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll get you up to date on all the scoring from around the NPB. Obviously, this game here is a 2-1 ball game. The 2-run shot off the bat of Yatara Sugimoto opened up the scoring for the Buffaloes in the 4th inning. And in the 5th inning, the Lions were able to claw one back after a leadoff single by Ryosuke Kadama. Ito hit a double, put runners at 2nd and 3rd, and then Shohei Suzuki grounded out to bring home the first run of the ball game for the Lions. And that is where we stand here. There is scoring in the Pacific League aside from this game. In the bottom of the 5th inning, the Chiba Lotte Marines now have a 2-0 lead over the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It is in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are locked at zeros with the Fighters. Over at the Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium, it's in the top of the 6th inning. It is a 3-0 lead for the Carp over the Bay Stars. And in the top of the 7th inning, the Tigers have a 2-0 lead over the Chinichi Dragons. That game is at the Bantalin Dome in Nagoya. And that catches you up on the out-of-town scoreboard as the game between the Giants and the Swallows will be at 6 o'clock Japan time, a little later on this evening. While Yoshinobu Yamamoto is making his way back out to the mound, 77 pitches through 5 innings from the Orix right-hander. As he is going to be coming out, he's scattered 7 hits. He hasn't walked any, and he has struck out 5 here today. So that is where he stands right now. He's completing his warm-up tosses, and he'll be facing McKinnon, Payton, and Sato to get things going here in the 6th inning. So once he's done his tosses, we'll be ready to go again. As this game here is there. Our friend Andy Altman-Orr says he's got himself a update on the food that his wife has brought him back. As I'm looking back over here, so we are definitely interested to hear what that's going to look like. Our friend Titus is in the house here listening in. We appreciate him as he is living in Japan. We also have, he says that Andy says his wife and he has spent a lot of time in Mariella, and it looks like Mihokan. I don't know if I'm butchering that or not. Our friend Titus says it's 3:35 in Japan right now. Yep, that is absolutely correct. As the first pitch of these ball games went off at 2 o'clock. That's the one thing I don't get. I know there's going to be a 6 o'clock game today as Yamamoto is ready to go, and he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away to McKinnon. I'd love to see more staggered starts of games in the NPB. Let's face it, if you're a fan of the Lions, a lot of people may still, who are fans of baseball, may tune into some of the later games. There's a fastball swung on it. Has popped up over on the first base side. Racing over is Wakatsuki, but he's going to watch it drift into the seats. That's going to run the count to 1-1. And what I mean by that is, for example, I being a Detroit Tiger fan, will watch the Tigers number 1. But if the Tigers aren't playing, I'll watch pretty much anything that looks like a decent matchup. So baseball fans around the world will sometimes look for other games to watch, even if their team isn't playing, or if their team had already played that day. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. And so at least to check in and to see what's going on elsewhere. Well, in the Japanese league when you run all the games at the same time. I don't really understand that. So 2 balls and 1 strike as Yamamoto rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-2. Andy had mentioned to me that he used to cover for one of the newspapers in San Jose. I was saying a number of years ago, going back almost 30 years ago, I was doing some coverage for the International Hockey League. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul down the third baseline. The count is going to remain at 2-2. Had an opportunity to interview the likes of Al Secord, former Chicago Blackhawk, Toronto Maple Leaf, as well as Gordie Roberts, a longtime defenseman with the Boston Bruins. I believe he was also a Hartford Whaler. A lot of fun interviewing some of those guys. Rick Dudley, of course, was the GM of the Detroit Vipers at the time. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And McKinnon is down on strikes. He's gone for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Mark Payton. Lots of fun being able to interview and to get to some different people and to hear their thoughts on different things. Especially, I remember there was even some, what I call lesser name players in the IHL, or guys that were good minor leaguers, maybe not NHLers. As the first pitch from Yamamoto is a fastball delivered for a called strike. The count is 0-1. There was a guy, his name was Peter Savaglia. He played for the Detroit Vipers. He was an economics major. I think he went to like Cornell or something like that. As the fastball is swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Payton, as Yamamoto is ahead quickly in the count. The difference in this ball game is the pitch counts. 85 pitches now thrown here by Yamamoto as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. Count is 1-2. Friend Gracie Lynn says the NPB has the same problems that the MLS does. As here's the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses off the inside corner, and the count goes to 2-2. Yeah, it sucks if you're a diehard fan, then you have to either pick your team or then you got to pick something else. But you're right, the MLS doesn't exactly do a great job of mixing their time slots around. As a breaking ball misses upstairs, the count goes to 3-2 on Payton. Another example of that, if you look at the Japanese league, if they had games that started at 1, 4, and 7, you could cover a lot of different grounds. You could get 3 different games in the day because the time zone is all the same in Japan. As that fastball was tapped on and fouled away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It remains to Payton here. Right-hander Yamamoto rocks into the windup. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded. Just foul past the bag at third base. It keeps the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Payton. Very, very strange on the thought process to that. One of the other ones that reminded me of this with the time slots, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And it was a nice job there by Yamamoto. He took a little something off that breaking ball, and that is going to retire Payton for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and it's going to leave it all up to the third baseman, Ryusuke Sato. Back in 1998, I attended the Scottish Cup final soccer game in Scotland. It was in Glasgow. It was at Celtic Park between Rangers and Hearts. 25 years ago this year. Crazy. And there was a fastball that misses down and away to Sato for ball 1. But at the same time that that game was going on, the British FA Cup final was also going on, or the English FA Cup final. As there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. I remember saying to somebody, I was like, well, why wouldn't they stagger the starts of the games? And somebody said to me it was 2 different countries. I go, yeah, but you've also got your neighbors. Wouldn't you think that people be interested in watching your game from England, and people from Scotland would be interested in watching the FA Cup? Just couldn't understand why they would run it off at the same time as that fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is now 1-2. Because typically a soccer game, unless it goes into extra time, is going to be a 2-hour affair. And of course, with penalty kicks in a cup final, that could extend it a little bit. But when you think about it, why not have it just go the same way. And there's a split figure pitch swung on and missed. And Yamamoto has struck out the side here in the 6th inning. And that is going to do it here for the Lions. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th. Your score is the Buffaloes 2 and the Lions 1. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We'll talk a little bit more logistical timing of why these leagues do some of this stuff. Appreciate you all listening in. We'll be right back after this. Two-one for the Buffaloes over the Lions. We'll be back in 30 with all the action here. Hang tight, everybody. We appreciate your being with us. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Buffalo batting order to come to bat here. That means Yuma Mune, Kai Nakagawa, and Tomoya Mori to get things going, as they're going to be facing Kona Takahashi here. We'll get you the updated pitch count on Takahashi, as it looks like that's where it could come down here for the starters. Now, in the Japanese league, sometimes you'll see the starters. It's not uncommon for them to go well over 100-plus pitches in a ball game, but Takahashi is only at 64 pitches through his 5 innings of work, and Yuma Mune tries to bunt his way on, and he misses through that first pitch fastball for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Mune tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's raised his season average up to 238. As he waits here on the offering from the right-hander Takahashi. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 0-2 on Mune. So no balls and 2 strikes. Mune batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Takahashi. As the right-hander works to the set position. Now time has been called as Mune is going to step out of the batter's box. We're going to reset and do this again. So the right-hander works to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's lifted foul down the left field line. That's going to keep the count at no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes to Mune. Nakagawa and Mori to follow here in the 6th inning. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Takahashi ready to do this again. As he works to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down. That's going to run the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander Takahashi leans in, he gets the sign from his catcher, and now he works to the set position. And he kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on. This is tap foul behind home plate. That's going to keep the count at 2-2 to Mune. Buffaloes are looking for some insurance runs here as they have that 2-1 lead. This is a night of good pitching matchups around the NPB. I shouldn't say maybe always good, but even pitching matchups. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is here to Mune. As the right-hander Takahashi works to the set position. He's got that bright green glove. There's a fastball swung on. Who's grounded over to short. Kadama fields it. He's going to have to hurry. He throws to first, and it's in time to nip Mune. It's going to go down as a ground out 6-3 to retire the Buffaloes' third baseman for the first out of the inning. Get a look at that one. He had to hurry, did the shortstop, and he got rid of it in a hurry. He bounced it over to first base, but he was able to get Mune by a half a step for the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the center fielder, Kai Nakagawa. Our friend Andy says the dessert is a little bite-sized cookie puffs bathed in a dollop of whipped cream and a cone, and you eat with a fork. Yeah, with a fork. That sounds actually really good. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Andy, while he's over there in Japan, have you been indulging in the matcha? As there's a split finger pitch taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Whether it be a Starbucks matcha latte or whether it be a matcha flavored bun or something like that, that is something that I rather enjoyed. There's a split finger pitch that swung on and missed. The count is now 1-2 to Nakagawa. But more importantly, Andy, have you picked up any Calbee potato chips with baseball cards? Because when the potato chips are sold, the cards are on the outside of the pack, outside of the bag, and that's where you get the Japanese cards. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Nakagawa stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Tomoya Mori. Well, Takahashi hasn't had a lot of the strikeouts here in this one, as we would anticipate. That is the way it goes. Andy, I'm going to give you a YouTube channel that you got to go and check out after the game is done. I'll send it over to you. As there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. You may have already seen it. The fella's got about 2.5 million subscribers. As the 1-0 pitch is ready to go on the way to Tomoya Mori. And now Mori asks for time as he steps out. Mori tonight is 0 for 2. There's a fellow, if you're looking for interesting stuff, Palo from Tokyo is the name. And Palo from Tokyo, I believe he's Filipino, American-Filipino background. And he married a Japanese lady. There was a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. The count is 1-1. He has a channel, and it's been a travel type of piece. So all around, whether it be Tokyo, which is where they live, but they also do other cities as well. Very informative. And you can pick through and see some of his former stuff that he's done, but absolutely outstanding channel. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 2-1. Our friend Gracie says, it's funny because I never used to follow any sports outside of the States until 2019. Her sister's partner moved from Japan to Bama, and now I find myself watching the games all the time. We're glad you're with us here tonight, Gracie. There's a split finger pitch that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. One of the pieces people were saying is there's something called Friends to Friends. It was a channel or a network that was picking up the games. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, it is grounded softly over to first, fielded by McKinnon. He's going to step on the base, and that is going to do it, as that's going to retire the Buffaloes quietly in their half of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now through 6 complete. It is the Buffaloes leading the Lions 2-1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments as we are going to continue our food journey with our friend Andy Altman-Orr and listen to Gracie's stories about her relatives that are in Japan. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you all for being here with us tonight. Welcome back, everybody. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is at 95 pitches as we go here to the top of the 7th inning. What does that mean in Japanese baseball? Well, it's probably meaning he is warming up. He's got 8 strikeouts in the ball game tonight, and he has struck out the last 5 Lions hitters in a row as he begins at the top of the 7th inning. 68 of those 95 pitches have been for strikes. Very impressive indeed by the right-hander. All around the zone tonight he has been. So we're ready to resume here as he's going to face Senisuke, Ryosuke Kadama, and the top of the order, Ito. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Suge. Suge tonight is 1 for 2. He singled his first time up. He's also lined out to the shortstop, or I should say popped out to the shortstop in his last at bat. And here comes the 1-0. As a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. And he says he's had chips type crunchy snack the other day. It was the flavor of okonomiyaki and oishi. There's a fastball that swung on, and it's lifted foul over on the first base side, and the count is 1-2. Gracie says, sorry for sharing some of these random stories. It's 1:51 a.m. Trying to stay awake. We appreciate you for hanging in here with us. It's been a great game here tonight. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on his line back off of Yamamoto. It's fielded by Kirby-Ashi. He's going to have to hurry. Diving into first base is the base runner, Suge, and it's not going to be in time. They're going to come out and check on Yamamoto. Yamamoto's already signaling to get off the field. I'm okay. I was in Seattle a few years ago, and I saw the Texas Rangers' Cole Hamels take a line drive in the face. And the trainer came out to come and check on Hamels, and Hamels chased him away. It was like nothing's wrong with him. He just took a 90-mile-an-hour plus heater off the bat right to the side of the jaw and just carried on like it was nothing. You got to say Cole Hamels was a pretty tough dude. Sometimes I think I'm a tough guy, but not like that. So that brings up the shortstop Kadama, who's already squared the bunt. He gets it down. It is fielded by the first baseman, Oda, who throws it over to the second baseman, Gonzalez. It's going to advance the runner, Suge. Suge is going to be over to second base. That's going to go down as a sacrifice. That'll be 3-4 on the putout for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring the top of the order up in Ito. Andy says, oishi means delicious. Yeah, and we got Gracie said that's some kind of tough. I'd be in a heat for sure. Yeah, that's absolutely it. Well, that's going to bring up the right-handed hitting Ito when he swings at the first pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on, grounded to the shortstop Kirby-Ashi, who throws to first, and that is not a good piece of hitting there by Ito as he rolls it over to the shortstop with the first pitch that he sees. Goes in the books as a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Shohei Suzuki. Well, for Suzuki, he is in the books officially tonight as 1 for 2. He's driven in the only run for the Lions. That came back in the 5th inning when he knocked home Ryosuke Kadama to cut the lead in half. So 1 for 2 tonight in this one with an RBI. As this is going to get pitch number 102 here from the right-hander Yamamoto. As he holds steady, he now kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Suzuki entered the ball game tonight hitting 265 with the hit. It's raised him up to 278. Right-hander against the left-hander. Yamamoto looks at the runner at second and now delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Gracie Lynn asked the question, opening a can of worms here, and why can they go longer? And it's kind of funny, the pieces there. We'll talk about it in the next half inning as that fastball swung on, grounded over to second. Gonzalez fields it. He throws to first. That's going to retire Suzuki. It's going to go down as a ground out 4-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it. They wasted a leadoff single by Sena Suge to the Lions. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. You are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 2, the Lions 1. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back with that call in just a couple moments. We're going to take ourselves a little time out here and try to get ourselves another cup of hot chocolate. We'll be right back.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure after the game, whether it's Money Monday, Takeover Tuesday, Saturday morning cartoons, or the Sunday shoutouts, he's got something for everybody. That's Steve Rademacher at his finest. Well, that's going to bring up the part of the batting orders, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That means it's going to be Yataro Sugimoto, Marwin Gonzalez, and Kataro Kuribayashi to get things going here against the right-hander Takahashi. Sugimoto is responsible for driving in both of the Buffalo runs so far here tonight with the 2-run shot in the 4th. He is 1 for 2 on the evening. Back to Gracie's question in the last half inning about the major league pitchers and why they are not used as much. There's a fastball that misses outside and the count is 1-0. And I think there's multiple routes that we could take that question. One of them is just the plethora of talent that exists in Major League Baseball. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is even at 1-1 to Sugimoto. You think of some of the pitchers that are coming out of the ball game. After the 6th inning, the pitchers that come in throw harder than the starter. And that is the one thing that they have going for them is there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2. The overall quality of the pitching, certainly with the influence of the Latin players in the North American game, is absolutely outstanding. There is a fastball that misses up. Another thing that in the Japanese league, and when I say this, it's not out of criticism. In Major League Baseball, you could have, and I don't know, we've talked about this a little bit before, you have a certain number of visas each team can have. There's a split-fingered pitch, and that's going to miss down. The count is 3-2. And that is, for example, from top to bottom, from your rookie ball team all the way up to the major league level, you have a certain amount of, how could I say it, visas that the teams will have. Certainly after September 11th, 20 plus years ago, it was only 25 visas per team. That's been since relaxed. They could have international players. Whereas in the NPB, you can only have 3 international players in the game at one time. And I think it's 4 on the game sheet. So in other words, you're really restricting the amount of international players, which is kind of a good thing because it allows you to develop your own in-house talent. There's a split-finger pitch that is swung on and missed. And Sugimoto is gone for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Marwin Gonzalez. So at the same time, even though that's a good thing, it also is going to water down the talent because you could probably bring somebody in from another country that is better than some of the talent that's on the field in Japan right now. And that would be guys that would be in the AAA or fringe major league type of players. Here's the first pitch to Gonzalez. It's a split finger pitch. It misses down for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Gonzalez tonight is 0 for 2. He has struck out both times. He has come to the face Takahashi. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded over to first. It's bobbled by the first baseman and by McKinnon, and then he flips it over to the pitcher covering, and they are going to retire Gonzalez. It's going to go down as a ground out 1-3, or check that 3-1 for the second out of the inning, and that'll leave it up to the shortstop Kentaro Kobayashi. That ball chopped to the first baseman. Actually, McKinnon had dropped the ball like he was trying to play basketball with it, and then he was able to recover and make the underhand flip. So pitch number 90 about ready to happen here. And interestingly enough, it's going to be Yamamoto who looks like he's going to come out for his 8th inning of work. So that 100 pitches, whatever he's at, is probably just going to be a warm-up for him. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that's taken for a call strike. The count is 0-1 to Kentaro Kobayashi. It's not just the international talent. It would be the talent that the Japanese would be pleased in which to develop. Certainly they want to develop their own first with a priority. As we say, there you don't see a lot of imports. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-1. When you look at the import players in the lineup tonight, the 2 American players for the Lions, and then, of course, Marwin Gonzalez for the Buffaloes, and that's pretty much it. Now, I don't know what's on the game sheet tonight. As far as other players, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted foul down the left field line. It's going to run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. But my guess is that you would have to think that Jacob Waguespack would be in this here, but we'll take a look and try to give you some of that perspective. So if I look at the Buffaloes, it looks like Jarrell Cotton, the pitcher, former Oakland A and Minnesota Twin, he's on the roster tonight as the fastball swung away. It's going to be lifted into the seats, probably near Andy, as it was down the right field line. They also have Jacob Waguespack on the game sheet tonight as well. So there's the other American player. Frank Schwindel, who's not in the ballgame, is also on the game sheet. So there's your 4 that are on the lineup cards as a fastball swung on and lifted into center field. It's going to be caught by Mark Payton. That is going to do it as Kobayashi is gone for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, they go quietly, do the Buffaloes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. You're now moving to the top of the 8th inning. Your score, it's 2-1 for the Buffaloes. Yamamoto coming back out for inning number 8. As he's going to have to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the batting order. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat. The Lions. Let me Shuta Tonosaki, Takia Nakamura, and David McKinnon to face the right-hander Yoshinobu Yamamoto here, who is on for his 8th inning of work. So he is ready to go again here. Yamamoto has been outstanding here tonight. as he's only allowed the 1 run back in the 5th inning here to the Lions. As he rocks into the windup and he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. 104 pitches through the first 7 innings for Yamamoto, as he is probably just warming up. As the right-hander rocks into the delivery and he kicks and fires, it is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2 balls and no strikes to Tonosaki. And he says, I hope a foul ball never gets near me. My natural instincts would be to go for it, lunge. And he says, they just don't do that over there. Well, all I would say is that if I'm sitting in the stands and one's coming near me, I've got my elbows sharp and I'm ready to make a grab. There's a fastball swung on this ball. It's going to be looped into left field. It's going to get down for a single in front of Sugimoto. That is going to be a base hit here for the leadoff hitter Tonosaki, and that's going to bring up Takeya Nakamura. I can tell you this much. I would be shocked if Nakamura was squaring to bunt. As the big fella here is going to be stepping to the plate. There's been some more scoring around the NPB, as we will get you those updates as we move along here. This half inning. Nothing has changed in the Central League, as it's still 2-0 for the Tigers over the Dragons and 3-0 for the Carp over the Bay Stars. As Yamamoto ready to go to work. And now he kicks and he fires. It's a fastball swung on it. Is grounded up the middle. It's going to get into center field for a base hit. And Nakamura is aboard. He has got his first hit of the ball game. Tonosaki's going to stop at second. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, David McKinnon. Well, the official attendance for tonight's game, after much debate, is 25,398 at the Osaka Dome. I wonder how many of those are ghosts that were counted as paid attendance. It sure didn't look early on that this was going to get to that point. So we have a conference on the mound right now as we wait. Yamamoto is getting a visit, but they're going to stay with him. He is the ace of the staff. I would have to think he is going to be ridden out here for sure. The scores in the Pacific League, aside from this one, the Fighters have jumped out to a 3-0 lead on the Golden Eagles. Well, the Golden Eagles came from behind last night to win. And the Marines have a 3-0 lead in the top of the 7th inning over the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, and that's where we stand. So McKinnon batting here, waggling the bat, waiting on the first offering from the righty Yamamoto. Runner at first and second, and the pitch is a fastball that misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. One would have to think they're going to try to get through this inning with Yamamoto and then pass the baton to the closer Yoshi Hirano. They're in double play depth up the middle. The corners are just behind the bags at each of their respective positions. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1 now to McKinnon. McKinnon has flown up to center twice, and he has struck out in his 3 trips to the plate. Our friend, the living room, is in the house here. We welcome him to all the action. And the pitch is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field. Racing in on it is Nakagawa. It's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding third and heading home is Tonosaki. The throw comes into third, and they're going to nail Nakamura. But cruising into second is going to be McKinnon. He's going to get a single. And he's going to get himself an RBI. That's going to tie the ball game up. Tonosaki comes around to score, but that is going to be the putout of 8-5 for the first out of the inning of Nakamura, as he's going to be retired. But the ball game, more importantly, is now a 2-2 game. That is where we stand here, with a runner at second in David McKinnon, and it's going to bring Mark Payton to the plate. It looks like we're going to have another conference on the round, and it may be the end of the night, as it looks like Nakajima has come out and signaled for a pitching change, and that is going to do it for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. His night is going to be over as he's just surrendered the second run of the ball game. He's going to leave to a nice applause, and that is going to bring the reliever in, and we'll get that for you when we return. We're going to go up and get ourselves a drink and another drink of hot chocolate, but we'll be right back in just a couple moments. Appreciate everybody for being with us. Here is another one of the musical tunes. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're a little bit tardy in getting back here. It is going to be Utagawa. Yuki Utagawa coming on in relief. The big fella is taking over here. We'll get you all the specs on him. It is going to be he who is taking over. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, Giants Swallows score. They don't play until 6 o'clock Japan time. That is where we are. Our living room says we're in a hot chocolate delay. With the weather that we have here, yes, it is still hot chocolate weather because it's still a little bit cool. We do have a pinch runner over at second base for the Lions. It's going to be Wakabayashi, who's coming in to run for David McKinnon. And Mark Payton is going to be coming to the plate here to face Yuki Utagawa. Utagawa, the big, hard-throwing right-hander, fresh off his tour with the World Baseball Classic, hasn't skipped a beat. Going to be working his 9th ball game of the year. He's pitched in 7 innings. He's allowed 2 hits. He's walked 5 and struck out 5, and he's got an ERA of 1.29. That's been the big knock on Utagawa this year. 5 walks in those 7 innings. As the left-handed hitting Payton is ready to face him, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses inside for ball 1. The count is 1-0. So Yuki Utagawa, the second pitcher used here tonight by the Orix Buffaloes. So Utagawa ready to go to work again here as the big right-hander gets his sign. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball that's blown right by Mark Payton. The count now is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Utagawa appeared in 19 ball games last year. He was 2-1. He had a really sparkling ERA of 0.81. He is going to be 25 after the season. Pitch is a split finger pitch. It misses down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say Payton didn't go. Run the count now to 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Mick says snap due ball game. Yeah. Coffee delay just started snowing slush earlier in Denver. Yeah, and then by next week, it's supposed to be on the West Coast, or we're going to have temperatures approaching the 80s. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count now goes to 3 balls and 1 strike to Payton. Ryusi Sato waits his turn on deck. This game is all locked up at 2s. It's going to turn into the battle of the bullpens. As Yamamoto couldn't quite just hold it out. There's a fastball that misses down and in. And that is going to be ball 4. As Payton's going to draw himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second with 1 away, and that is going to bring up the first third baseman, Ryusi Sato. Our friend Andy says 2 hours through 7 innings. It's pretty impressive. Of course, these 2 pitchers here kept it going. Another thing that speeds up the game in the NPB is only 1-minute commercial breaks on the in-between. That is definitely noticeable. We run our little 30-second clips. Major League Baseball, when I do my in-between stuff, I've got to have at least 2 minutes of commercial or, say, for example, music timeouts. It's just that's the way it is. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up behind home plate. Racing back is the catcher, Wakabayashi. He's going to have room, and he makes the catch right up against the wall. That is going to retire Sato for the second out of the inning. So he is out on the pop to the catcher. That's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Senisuge. Well, for Suge, he is 2 for 3 tonight. He's had 2 singles in his 3 trips to the plate. So Yamamoto looks on in the dugout with runners at first and second, hoping for Utagawa to be able to put these Lions away. That would probably be my worst nightmare, is hoping for the quick game, and the next thing you know, it goes 12. But it's been an entertaining affair so far. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Suge. Friend Gracie says she was watching the Cincy-Pittsburgh game on Thursday. The whole game took 2 hours and 9 minutes. Much better with the, I don't know if the pitch clock per se, but one of the things that would make it a lot better, run on and off the field, cut your commercial timeouts down to a reasonable amount of time as that fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count's 1-1 to Suge. If they did that, they might not have to go to the pitch clock as much. But the other part that really slows the game down is the pitching changes, and it's the in-inning pitching changes. At the top of the inning, it's a little bit different. And that, to me, is where the National League rules, if you wanted to speed up the game, take the DH out of the game and put a pitcher hitting. And there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The pitcher's hitting was like 110 points lower than the average of what a DH would hit. So let a pitcher hit, and that'll speed up the game because it puts a dead bat in your batting order. And it keeps the baseball purists happy without having to do a shot clock. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Suge. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Friend Andy said the Tigers and the Guardians went 1 hour 50 minutes in that second game of the doubleheader the other day. I think that was the 1-0 game that Eduardo Rodriguez had pitched. Shotgun Shell says paid sponsor time. Well, the other part to that is you can double the rates. People would be willing to pay double the rate, I'm sure, as there was a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count goes to 3-2 on Suge. And he says game 1 was 2 hours and 40 minutes. So 2 games in the time of a 2022 single game like the Yankees and the Red Sox. Absolutely. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the right field line. Andy, was that in your section? That's going to keep the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Not a big fan of the ghost runner. In fact, I have to say, I do like the way that the Japanese league ends the game after 12 innings. If it's a tie, it's a tie. And I got no problem with that, to be honest with you. 100%. Let's get ourselves in that situation where you can get a tie game. It is a tie game after the 12 innings. And when you think about it, in Major League Baseball, they stopped serving beer after the 7th, and their concession stands basically closed down. I was telling Steve Rademacher the other night that one of the things when I was at the game in Seattle is I was standing out in left field, and when the game ended, the Ballard Pizza Company said, "Free pizza." As there's a split-figure pitch and misses down. It gets all the way to the backstop, and then it takes a ricochet back, and it's going to be picked up by Utagawa, but the runners are going to advance, but that's going to be ball 4. Suge's got himself a walk. It's going to move Peyton over to second. It's going to move McKinnon, or the runner for McKinnon, Wakabayashi, over to third. And that is slated to bring up the shortstop, Ryosuke Kadama. And we're going to check to see if there's going to be a move made here by the Buffaloes as the bases are loaded, and we've got a visit from the pitching coach. Andy Altmanor says Japanese high school 10th inning automatic runners at first and second. Yeah, at high school baseball, I can kind of get it. I mean, let's face it, you don't have the offense with a lot of clubs like you do in other spots. But at the professional level, 12th inning, when I think of going to major league games, how many people leave after the 8th or 9th inning? There's a fastball that is delivered and misses upstairs to Kadama, and the count is quickly 1-0. Utagawa could implode here. If he walks a guy, that's going to put the Lions in the lead here. Utagawa is going to have to find a way to rear back and throw some strikes. It's like he's lost the command of his pitches. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander works to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded, and it's going to get through the 6-hole, and it is going to be a base hit. They're going to keep the bases loaded. An RBI single by Kadama, his second hit of the ball game. And that's going to give Takahashi the lead to play with. It's going to cash in the pinch runner, Wakabayashi. Advancing over to third is Mark Payton. At second is Suge. And Utagawa has got himself still in a pickle of trouble here. That ball had eyes right by the diving Mune and not enough to be able to be fielded by the shortstop Kirbiashi. So the bases are still loaded. That's going to bring the top of the order in Ito to the plate. And there goes the opportunity for a victory for the right-hander Yamamoto. And here comes the first offering. It's a breaking ball that misses up. And the count is 1-0 to Ito. Our friend Gracie says, you're fine with high school and college level using those rules, but these guys are supposedly the best in the world. Let them decide it for themselves. Absolutely. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It is popped up behind home plate. Racing back on it is the catcher, Wakatsuki's, but he's going to watch it drift into the seats. Keeps the count at 1-1. I was at a game last year between the Vancouver Canadians and I think it was the Eugene Emeralds or the Everett Aqua Sox or whatever it was. I can't remember which one of the two teams it was. And the thing that was interesting is in the top of the inning, you got the out, and then the bottom half of the inning, you start with that runner at second base as the ghost runners there. And why not bunt that runner over to third? There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in on it is Nakagawa. He's going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Ito for the third out of the inning. But there's been damage done as the Lions have now taken the lead. They scored 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there was 3 runners left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is the Lions 3 and the Buffaloes 2. Hang tight, everybody. This one's got a lot of action left in it. We'll be right back here for just a couple moments. We'll be back after this. Three 2 is the scoreline. It is the Lions in the lead. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few.
Hello, this is Orix Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Appreciate you there, Eric, and the support you have for our channel. Of course, we have our support from Eric Fox and his time with us as he is able to supply some instruction along with us to the youngsters who want to continue to play baseball and learn about the game. Lots of good times had by all up here. That is going to bring up the right-hander. The right-hander is going to be Tanasaki, who's going to stay in the game, or Takahashi is still in the game. Ito is going to move over to play first base as he is coming in from the outfield as David McKinnon's day is done. And we're ready to go here as the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside for ball one. And the count is on one ball and no strikes. It is getting late here for me, too. Kind of hoping that this game would have finished the way it started at a quick pace, but I have a feeling that is not going to happen as the 1-0 is on the way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Wakatsuki tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out looking, and he has a sacrifice bunt to his name. He bats here with a 1 ball and 1 strike count. 94 pitches through the 7 innings for Takahashi. Gracie Lynn says her 2 a.m. brain is drawing a blank. As there's a fastball swung on, this ball is lifted into left field. Drifting back on it, making the catch is Suzuki, and that is going to retire Wakatsuki for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Takamasa Chano. The NPB games are tie games where it's a win or a half a loss, or do they just completely not count in the standings at all? Well, think of it like hockey in some ways where you have, or soccer where they have the win, the loss, and the tie. So it will not give you a win nor a loss, but it does give you the half a point for gaining the tie. Well, we're going to have ourselves a pinch batter here. And this is going to be exciting as it's going to be our first look at Frank Schwindel, who's come off the bench to pinch hit for Takamasa Chano. So Schwindel, the 30-year-old, 3 for 8 on the season. He was 3 for 4 in the opener and then 0 for 4 in his second game. He got the night off early on here, but now he bats against Tanasaki, and he takes a first pitch for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Schwindel, of course, had a very good start to his career with the Cubs after starting with Oakland and Kansas City in Major League Baseball. He had a half of a season that was an absolute dream. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-1. So we're happy to see Schwindel in the lineup as he is waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Takahashi. And the pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Only twice tonight did the right-hander Takahashi go over 15 pitches in an inning. He's been very, very economical. Schwindel, who steps out of the batter's box, is back in, and he's waiting here on the offering from the righty. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Frank Schwindel. As Takahashi in that green glove gets the sign from his catcher, and now he's ready to go again. And it's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled straight back. Keeps the count at 2-2. Interesting that they would actually have Schwindel bat here in this situation. I don't understand why they would pinch it for Chano. I mean, one would have to think you'd want to have a base runner for Schwindel to come to the plate. So here's the 2-2 pitch, and there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left center field. Racing back on it is the center fielder, Peyton, and he's going to make the grab. That is going to retire Schwindel for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the top of the order in Rio Oda. So he hung him a breaking ball. Schwindel did a pretty good job of keeping his hands inside, but not good enough as that ball was hauled in by the center fielder, Peyton. So that brings up Rio Oda to the plate, as we are waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Takahashi, and now there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Oda tonight 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice, and he has flown out to right field. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is now 1-1. And he said he thought he got more of that one as well. I often wonder sometimes in the Dome stadiums what the fan situation is like. There's a breaking ball that is dropping in for a call strike, and the count is 1-2. I remember, I forget where it was. I want to say it was the Metrodome or somewhere else. When the offensive team would hit or the home team would hit, they would have the fans blowing, and when the other team would hit, they would turn them off. As there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul, and the count is 1-2. I say it's the Metrodome, but it was one of the Dome stadiums that came to mind. And that was how that the home team was operating. When the home team was up, they put the jet streams on, and when they weren't batting, they would turn them off. So here's the 1-2 pitch. As Takahashi delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on. It is lined on one hop over to the second baseman, fielded by Tonosaki. He throws to first. That is going to do it. It's going to go down as a grounded out 4-3 for Oda, as he is done for out number 3. Well, no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the top of the ninth inning. Your scores: the Lions 3 and the Buffaloes 2. Expect that we will be seeing ourselves with another pitching change when we return in just a couple moments. Top of the ninth inning on its way.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve. We do have a right-hander coming into the ball game. It's the American Jacob Waguspak entering the game, as he is going to take over here for Yuki Utagawa. So Waguspak on in relief, as the right-hander is ready to get the baseball here again tonight. Waguspak is working in his 7th game of the season. He's 1-2. He's also got a save. 5 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 3 hits. He's walked 5 and struck out 8. He has an ERA of 6.75. So he is off to a bit of a challenging start in terms of his command and control. So there is a couple other changes, as they do have a new right fielder and a new catcher to the Buffaloes. And we'll have to get you, that is Oda in right field. We'll have to get you the catcher in just a couple moments. So Jacob Waguspak on in relief. So Waguspak ready to go, as he's going to be facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the order. Suzuki Tonosaki and Nakamura, or the pinch runner for Nakamura, which is, I believe, Wakabayashi. We'll get you that here in a moment as we return to the live action. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch. It misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. For Suzuki tonight, he is 1 for 3. He's got an RBI, and he's also got a sacrifice bunt. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1 to Suzuki. And I believe they ran for, actually it was for the batter David McKinnon when he was on base. It is Ning Ting Wu who is in the ball game now, as he has taken over at first base. I thought it was Ito who went to first, but Ning Ting Wu is the first baseman. There's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes even to 2-2. Wu will bat here for the first time in just a moment. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Wagyu delivers, it's a fastball swung on tap foul over on the third base side. Runs the count even to 2-2. It is Ishikawa who is behind the plate now. Oda has taken over in right field for the Buffaloes. So here comes the offering from the right-hander Wagyu. It's a fastball that misses down. It's now 3-2. It's the problem we saw the other night with Wagyu. He was always having problems with his command of his pitches. We're ready to go back to work here. The 3-2 on the way. It's a fastball. It's taken for a called third strike. Oh boy, Suzuki stood there like the house by the side of the road, watched it go by for out number 1. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. Well, for Tonosaki tonight, he is 1 for 4. He has struck out twice, flown to center field. He's singled, and he scored the tying run in the 8th inning. So he bats here for the first time facing Wagyu. As he waggles the bat, the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that just misses. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I just looked away from the chat for a little bit here, and there's a fastball swung on, and this is going to be lifted into the seats, foul down the left field line. Shotgun Shell said that his cousin Kyle played for the Emeralds. Saw that back up earlier on. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Tonosaki. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 1-2. Gracie said the same thing. She says, speaking of the yen, exchange rate is 1.13420 Japanese yen. Our North American money has really strengthened versus the yen. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded, foul down the third base line. The count remains at 1-2. I can tell you from my own personal experience, when I went to Japan in 2019, $1 Canadian would get you about, I think it was 88 yen. Went back in 2019, end of 2019 to 20. Same thing, $1 would get you a little bit less. It was about 83 yen. Well, I can say in confidence that I picked up $1,000 Canadian, and it got me over 100,000 yen, 101,000 yen for 1,000. That was going back in November of last year. So since then, our dollar is not as strong, but it looks like it's wanting to burst out and get a little stronger here as that fastball is swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 1-2 to Tonosaki. Gracie says, wasn't Wagyu with the Red Sox? He was a Toronto Blue Jay actually 2 years ago. He had come from the Blue Jays organization to the NPB. As the pitch is on the way, it's a split finger pitch. It misses down. They peel over to the first base umpire, but they say Tonosaki didn't go. Actually, that was a breaking ball. It was more over the top. I thought it was a split finger pitch from Wagyu. Pitch was over the plate, but it was low. Nice job there by the catcher to block it, even though they don't have anybody on. 3-2 now to Tonosaki. As Wagyu ready to go. Rocks into the windup and delivers. It's a fastball swung on it. I think it was a double whammy. It looked like it caught the catcher and the umpire. They were playing a little bit of pinball there, and that is going to keep the count at 3-2. My friend Gracie said, right pitcher, right division, wrong team. It was the Blue Jays for sure that he was with. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as Wagyu ready to go back to work. He Rocks into the windup and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on, and another one tap foul over on the third base side. Count still remains at 3-2 to Tonosaki. It is 9 pitches in this at bat, as he has given Wagyu Spack quite the battle. So the right-handed hitting, Tonosaki ready to face the right-handed throwing Wagyu Spack, who rocks into the windup. And there's a pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and Tonosaki has won the battle. He's going to get himself a 1-out walk. And that is going to bring up the slot of the batting order. We'll have to do a double check on that part as well here, as it looks like that, as we said before, looks like it is going to be Nakamura coming to bat. So base on ball by Tonosaki. And one would have to wonder if Takahashi's going to come in and try to win this game by himself for the Lions. He's still sitting in the dugout. I wonder if they're going to give him the ball for the 9th inning. He's going to be sitting there a while, it seems like. Here's the first offering here to Nakamura as Wagyu Spack holds set and now delivers. It's a fastball taken off to the races goes the runner Tonosaki, and he's going to straight steal second base. That's a pretty ballsy decision. But that is exactly what's happened, as Tonosaki has stolen second base. A pitch looked like it was low to Nakamura. It's going to be 1 ball and no strikes to him. They challenged the catcher and they challenged Wagyu Spack. So 1 ball and no strikes to the big fella Nakamura. He is 1 for 4 in this one tonight. He singled his last time up. He's also flown out. He's grounded out and struck out. And he pitched on the way. It's a fastball that misses down. The count is now 2-0. Well, they do have an open base, but one would expect that if Nakamura got on, he'll be run for in this one. Our friend Andy Altman-Orr says the first 7 innings was 2 hours, and now it's 1.1 since then, or an inning and a third since then. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. It's going to get down. It's going to get past Sugimoto. Cruising around third and heading home is going to be Tonosaki. He is going to score the 4th run of the ball game. It's a double for Nakamura. And that is going to bring home yet another run for the Lions, and they have taken a 4-2 lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Insurance run for them. A double and an RBI for Nakamura. That's going to bring Ning-Ting Wu to the plate. Well, Wu is 1 for 4, as he's got a single and 4 trips to the dish. Actually, check that. It's McKinnon who had a single and 4 trips to the dish. Wu is batting for the first time here. As I said, I got to keep the coffee flowing here and not want to do too much more, because we're going to have to call it a night after this one's done. They do have a pinch runner now in the ball game for Nakamura. We'll get you caught up on that as well. As Wagyu Spack holds to the set position. And now he delivers. It's a fastball taken for a strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Looks like it is Hiranuma in the pinch run for the runner at second, Nakamura. So Shota Hiranuma in the ballgame to run. As the right-hander now kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1 to Wu. Still only 1 gone here in the 9th inning. Wagyu Spack already at 22 pitches. Not very economical indeed. So here's the offering from the right-hander, as Wagyu Spack works to the set. And now delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. Scores from around the NPB. It is 2-0 final in that game between the Tigers and the Dragons. Tigers won that one. The 3-0 over the Bay Stars. That game is also a final, so we picked off those two in our predictions. But looks like we're going to get shut out in the Pacific League tonight. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes even at 2 to Ning Ting Wu. It is in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Fighters have a 5-1 lead over the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Wu is waiting on the offering from Wagispak. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. Wu is down on strikes for out number 3, and that will do it. Out number 2. That will do it for him. That's going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Mark Payton. The Marines now have a 6-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning over the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. As we said, the Fighters are leading the Eagles 5-1. That is also in the bottom of the 8th inning. Curious to see how that one will play out. Actually, that's now 5-3. Eagles have got a couple of runs back. Curious to see how that's going to be. Looks like they've got, it was a pinch hit home run by Okajima. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside to Payton for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Payton tonight is 0 for 3. He has a walk. He struck out twice, and he has flown out to center. Average is dipped to a cool 200 here. So here comes the 1-0 offering as Wagispak delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded up the middle, backhanded by Gonzalez. He throws to first. It's going to retire Payton. That's going to go down the books as a 4-3 ground out for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Lions. Well, they got an insurance marker. They got a run in the inning. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 9th inning. Your score is the Lions 4, the Buffaloes 2, and it looks like Takahashi's going to try to close this one out for himself as he's going to take to the mound here in the 9th inning. We'll be back in just a couple of moments, everybody. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. The bottom of the 9th is about to come on the way.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. It's already no balls and 1 strike to Mune, and the pitch from Takahashi's on the way, and it misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Mune, Nakagawa, and Mori to come to bat here. Our friend Andy says the commercials were cute at first. Problem is we got to have some filler because I need to get a break on the in-between, so we're always looking for everybody's input or people's input and creativity to keep it exciting. Sometimes you have to watch them over and over and over again, and hopefully at some point only once during the game as that ball misses down, and the count is now 2-1. But the problem is I remember when we started doing this a couple of years ago, there was a lot of dead air on the in-between innings because to talk for 3 hours, it can be quite the challenge. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. It's now 3-1 to Mooney. This game is far from over yet. They need a base runner, do the Buffaloes. That's where it's going to get exciting. They've got the potential for Sugimoto to come to the plate and whatever else. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is now 3-2. Need to have a runner to have life. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Takahashi leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher, Suge. And now he works to the set position. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that is swung on, and that's lifted foul down the left field line. The count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. As we said before, it's the other piece is trying to get some different stuff completed. We did phase out some things, and we've had to add a couple more, and be what we're looking to add as well in the future. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the left field line. The count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. I've got a couple ideas for some more. But once you've seen it, then you can start to rehash it and say it in your mind. As it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mune. Takahashi ready to go again. And the pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to second. Fielded by Tonosaki. He throws to first. That's going to retire Mune on a ground out 4-3. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the center fielder Kai Nakagawa. Got to tip your hat here to the right-hander Takahashi. He has been brilliant in his work here tonight. It must be the flow. So the right-hander ready to go back to work as he's got Nakagawa digging in. And the pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball that just misses low for ball 1. That pitch looked pretty good. I'd like to see that one again. But I don't think we're going to see it here. Nakagawa tonight is 1 for 3. He's got a double, scored a run in his 3 trips. He pitches a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-hander delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and tap foul right at home plate. The count now is 1-2 to Nakagawa. Takahashi looking to seal the deal. 119 pitches so far in this one, 81 for strikes. The 120th pitch on the way. As he kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly to short. Kadama fields it. He throws to first. Nakagawa is retired on a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to Tomoya Mori. Well, for Mori tonight, he is looking for his first hit. He has struck out looking. He has popped to second. He has grounded out to first. Takahashi looking to finish this one off. So Mori steps in at the plate. He's trying to keep this one going. And here comes the first offering from Takahashi. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. The count is 1-0. A complete game, you don't see that every day in Major League Baseball. It is almost a thing of the past. There's a fastball swung on, and it's going to screw Mori right into the ground, and the count goes to 1-1. After this one's over, we'll give you the recap of the scoring in this one. We'll catch up on all those other out-of-town scoreboard games. That was awkward there by Mori. You saw the replay again. It looked like he almost doubled back onto his left knee. So here's the 1-1. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the left field line, and now the Buffaloes are down to their final strike. as we said, we will wrap this one up with the scores from around the league and the scoring summary in this one once this game is completed. So here's the 1-2. It's a fastball swung on and is lifted foul down the left field line. That keeps the count at 1-2 to Maury. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Once again, whether you listen live or on delay, we really appreciate everybody for bouncing in here. And hopefully you guys can come on back and catch us again tomorrow night, as we will be back on the air again. So the right-hander leans in. He gets his sign from his catcher, Suge. They've set up outside. Here's the 1-2. It's a fastball. Take it for a called third strike. And Maury watched that one go by for out number 3. And that is going to do it here in the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your final score is the Seibu Lions 4, the Orix Buffaloes 2. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in 30 seconds to wrap this one up for you. And we appreciate everything as well. Thanks again for everybody listening in. We'll be right back in 30. Welcome back, everybody. The quick scoring summary in this one, and then we'll give it the out-of-town scoreboard. Well, the ball game got going in the 4th inning as the Buffaloes got all their runs in the last half of the 4th. With 1 out, it was a Kai Nakagawa double. And after Tomoya Mori popped out, Yataro Sugimoto made it a 2-0 game with a no-doubter to left field. His 5th home run of the year, knocking home Nakagawa. That was where the score was, 2-0 for the Buffaloes. Well, the Lions clawed one back in the 5th inning. A leadoff single by Kadama, followed by a double by Ito, put runners at 2nd and 3rd. And then it was Shohei Suzuki grounding out to the 2nd baseman that scored Kadama for the first run of the ballgame for the Lions. We got to wait all the way to the 8th inning. The Lions with a leadoff single by Tonosaki. And then it was a single by Nakamura, put runners at 1st and 2nd. And then it was the David McKinnon with a base hit single, and he brought home Tonosaki with the 3rd run of the ball game for the Lions. And with the bases, with runners at, check that, runners at 1st and, it looked like 1st and 2nd. It was Mark Payton who stepped to the plate, and he walked to load the bases. And then a pop-up by Ryushi Sato, and a walk to Senisuge ended up bringing home yet another run. And that is where this one is going to end. But they did get one more in the 9th. It was a 1-out walk to Tonosaki, a double by Nakamura, and that brought Tonosaki in all the way from first base. And that led to your final score of a 4-2 ball game. All right, everybody. Well, just a quick look at the scores from around the league, and we're calling it a night. Literally, as soon as we hang up here with you guys, we are going to be passed out ourselves. Your scores for around the NPB finals in the Central League: 2-0 for the Tigers over the Dragons, 3-0 for the Carp over the Bay Stars. And then it was a 5-3 victory for the Fighters over the Eagles, 6-0. Check that. It's 5-3 in the top of the 9th inning for the Fighters over the Eagles, 6-0. Nothing for the Marines in the top of the 9th over the Hawks. And this one here, your final was 4-2. All right, everybody. Once again, thanks again for being here with us. It is the call that we are looking forward to right now. And that is we are signing off for the night. Once again, we'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully you can make it in. We'll be back again with all the action. Have a great night, everybody.